Today, I'm going to tell you about the most unbelievable thing that ever happened to me. I raised 4 mythical creatures, from tiny newborns, small enough to hold in the palm of my hand, to legendary guardians, powerful enough to storm an underground fortress and take on a dark sorcerer. I trained them. I took them into the wild forest. I watched them battle monsters. And together, we went on the most dangerous rescue mission of my life. I know how that sounds, but stay with me, because what happened was absolutely insane. It all started with 4 very unusual deliveries. First, Zephyr, a baby griffin, the size of a dove, half eagle, half lion, covered in the fluffiest golden down you've ever seen. He had these tiny black talons, these fierce amber eyes, and absolutely zero coordination. Every time he tried to flap his little wings, a gust of wind swept through the room and knocked things off the shelves. And then he would trip over his own feet and tumble across the floor. Griffins, in ancient legend, are the noble protectors of treasure, rulers of the wind and sky. But right now he was just adorably useless. Then came Jin, a baby Qilin, a creature from Chinese mythology. He was about the size of a house cat, with jade green and gold scales that shimmered in the light. A tiny single horn on his forehead, soft mane tufts along his neck, and these glowing green eyes full of ancient wisdom. Or at least, that's what I told myself. In reality, he spent most of his time trying to headbutt pillows. In legend, the Qilin is an earth guardian, a symbol of strength, its scales hard as diamond, its stomp capable of splitting the ground. When Jin stamped his tiny hoof on the floor for the first time, the whole table vibrated. I felt it in my chest. Third, Mist, a Kelpie foal from Celtic mythology, a spirit of water, born from rivers and ancient magic. She arrived in a stone basin filled with enchanted spring water, and she rose up out of it like something from a dream. Dark obsidian hide that was always wet and gleaming, a mane that flowed like liquid, like actual water in slow motion, and these glowing cyan eyes that seemed to see right through you. She didn't like being touched at first, but then she pressed her muzzle gently against my hand, and I swear it felt like holding a river. And finally, the 4th one, Ember, a fire salamander, a creature straight out of ancient European alchemical myth, the living embodiment of flame. He came in a small box filled with warm ash. He was the size of my palm. His skin was dark, like cooling obsidian, but cracked with glowing orange, like molten lava just under the surface. At the tip of his tail, a tiny flame flickered. When I picked him up, my hands were warm for the next hour. Building the sanctuary. I converted my basement into a sanctuary. For Zephyr, tall wooden perches and a wind tunnel with fans, so he could practice his flight in a controlled space. For Jin, a sunlit corner with warm stones and soft moss. He liked to sleep on heated rock. Turns out, Qilins are basically cats in that regard. For Mist, a spring-fed stone pool built right into the floor. She spent half her time submerged, and the other half dripping water all over the rest of the basement. And for Ember, a bed of warm volcanic ash inside a stone hearth. He curled up in it like it was the softest blanket in the world, and glowed softly through the night. Introducing them to each other was eventful. Zephyr and Jin stared each other down for about 30 seconds, then immediately started a chaotic little brawl. Feathers flying, scales clicking, rolling across the rug like a golden tornado. Neither of them won. Both of them acted like they did. Mist splashed water all over Jin mid-fight, which earned her a very offended triple take. And Ember? Ember slept through the entire thing, glowing peacefully in his ash bed, completely unbothered, while the rest of the basement descended into beautiful chaos. They were, from day one, a family. Feeding time was the fastest way to learn their personalities. Zephyr demanded fresh fish and tore into it with his tiny but razor-sharp beak, looking extremely pleased with himself. Jin got mineral stones, glowing jade crystals packed with earth energy. He gnawed at them with a kind of focused, quiet satisfaction. Mist drank enchanted spring water from her pool, glowing softly as she swallowed, her mane brightening with each sip. And Ember pecked at hot coals like they were seeds. His skin lit up brighter with every bite. Feeding time was essentially a nightlight for the whole basement. The first miracle. One afternoon, I accidentally scratched my hand on a sharp rock while cleaning out Jin's corner. Nothing serious, just a little cut. But Ember saw it. He flew up, and I still don't know how he knew, and he dropped one single tear onto the scratch. It glowed for a second. Warmth spread through my hand, and then the cut was just gone. Not faded, gone. Like it had never happened. He was barely 3 weeks old, and he was already using ancient healing magic. Instinctively. Like he was born knowing exactly what to do. I sat there for a long time after that, just staring at my hand. Mythical creatures grow fast. Much faster than anything I was ready for. In 6 weeks, Zephyr went from dove-sized to eagle-sized. His wing beats now knocked me off my feet if I stood too close. His feathers had darkened at the tips, bronze and gold, and he'd started to develop this proud, watchful expression that made him look genuinely ancient. Jin was now the size of a large mastiff, his scales hardened to something that looked and felt like polished diamond. When he stomped, the floor cracked slightly. He'd learned to control it, mostly. Mist had grown into a powerful, pony-sized creature, her mane now fully flowing like living water, capable of phasing through streams and puddles like a ghost. She moved in silence. You'd only know she was behind you when you felt the faint spray of water. And Ember had grown to the size of a cat, with bright magma cracks running the full length of his spine, and small, controlled flames flickering along his back. Wherever he walked, he left a faint scorch trail on the ground. He didn't mean to. He was working on it. I decided it was time for real training. I packed supplies, called them all to the door, and we walked into the deep forest behind my home. The formation came naturally. Zephyr circled above us, watching for danger from the sky. Jin moved ahead like a living tank, slow, steady, unstoppable. Mist walked beside me, alert, silent. And Ember perched on my shoulder, warm against my neck, lighting the path when we moved through dark thickets. We looked ridiculous, probably. A guy and 4 mythical creatures just hiking through the woods. But it felt exactly right. Our first test came without warning. Something massive tore itself out of a cluster of mossy boulders at the edge of a clearing. A stone troll. 8 feet tall, covered in rough gray rock-like skin, swinging a club the size of a tree trunk. And I realized we had no plan. But they did. Zephyr dove first, unleashing a wind blast that knocked the troll sideways. Mist followed, rearing up and lashing a whip of glowing water across its legs. Jin charged straight at it without hesitation, and when the troll swung the club directly at his head, Jin just took it. Didn't flinch. the hide held completely. Then he clamped his jaws on the troll's leg and threw it. Threw it. The troll hit the ground hard, and before it could get back up, Ember landed on a rock above it and breathed fire. Controlled, precise, right at its chest. The troll got up and ran. They had won their first battle in under 2 minutes, and they hadn't even needed me. The weeks that followed were the best of my life. We fought off a harpy flock. Mist summoned geysers from the earth that knocked them out of the sky one by one, while Zephyr ran aerial interference. We outmaneuvered a rock basilisk by splitting into 2 teams. Jin took the hit, while Ember came around from behind. We even found a way to work together in tight forest terrain, communicating in looks and body language that I slowly started to understand, too. With each battle, they got sharper, faster, smarter. Their attacks started to flow together like they'd trained for years. But it was the quiet moments between battles that I think about most. Watching Jin stand over Mist during a rainstorm, blocking the rain with his body so she could rest. Seeing Zephyr curl his wing around a sleeping Ember on cold nights. Finding all 4 of them piled together against my back when I woke up in the forest at dawn. I had raised them from tiny, helpless creatures. And now we were something else entirely. A team. A family. It has happened on an expedition deeper into the forest than we'd ever gone before. We heard them before we saw them. Armored figures stepped out of the shadows between the trees. Not monsters. Men. Or at least things that used to be men. Mercenaries. Soldiers of a dark sorcerer who had spent years searching for a living flame powerful enough to fuel his war machine. They came prepared. Before any of us could react, a glowing net shot out and wrapped around Mist, draining every drop of her energy in seconds. Jin was hit by a gravity spell. He dropped to one knee, then the ground, pinned by invisible force. Shadow chains shot from nowhere and wrapped around Zephyr's wings, dragging him down mid-air. And then they cast a sphere of black void over Ember. His light went out. I watched the sphere close around him. I watched his glow disappear. And then a portal opened, and they dragged him through, and it shut, and he was just gone. I've never felt silence like that. They took Ember, and we went in to get him back. We stormed the fortress. We fought through everything they threw at us. And when I finally shattered the crystal that held him, Ember didn't just come back. He was reborn. Bigger, more powerful than any of us had ever seen. He destroyed the sorcerer in seconds, and we ran out together as the whole fortress collapsed behind us. We started as strangers. We came out as something else entirely. A family that had been tested and survived. See you in part 2.